I don't.
I was.
I really don't think you're arguing that Zed's range is the same as Azir with W up. I can't believe that you're arguing that.
I'm arguing that Zed's W trades are longer range than Azir's W or Q.
Are
not
you
saying that they're the same
is this
range,
a prank or? Alright, Witness, what's up, buddy? You ready? Can I call you? Call me when you're ready. The debate. Yeah, we're just gonna be talking it out. Oh, my mouse. All right. Hello.
First, greetings, friend. Greetings.
Hello.
First, I gotta mute the stream. Otherwise, it's gonna be problematic.
Yeah.
2 times your voice is too much for me. Well, sorry.
What the fuck, dude?
I just wanna, before anything escalates here, like, because chat is around and everything, I want to clarify one thing. It is that I disagree on certain topics you mentioned, like, for example, sorcery tree being trash or so. We talk about that later. Just the fact that I disagree on some things.
For sure.
But for example, the fact that you made a guide and the general, let's say, entertainment and value level of the guide, you looked into a lot of different things. I appreciate that a lot. Like, for me, example, I do not put too much effort into videos. Like, I am not really good at cutting and stuff. So doing a guide is like what I would do in like some years or so if I have more experience. But right now I wouldn't do a guide, or I couldn't do a guide. So respect for that. And generally, I would say I agree on most of the things that you said. For example, the fact that Azir is really, let's say, balanced too strong right now with the last buffs. That's kind of actually really strong in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like it. And yeah, well, I'm an editor outside of that, so it's kind of
I know that
in my
you edited
wheelhouse.
Red Mercy's videos for a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, for a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, it was like you started like 6 years on Azir or so?
Yeah, it was like right after he came out, yeah.
Exactly. Season 5, season 6 or so was when I really got your notice of your Apatholix. You might remember that name, Apatholix, and you were kind of the go-to Azir mains, the go-to Azir OTPs. There were some insane montages on YouTube back when Azir had some good old range and was actually kind of a control mage rather than battle mage.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say is I think you have taken the time out of playing or so. While you were editing, I didn't really notice any of your gameplay.
Yeah, I didn't play. I didn't play for a year and a half, maybe. Like most of season 9 and season 8 playing. Okay,
and you were moving to CAA, whatever the region you are at right now.
Yeah, Southeast Asia. I moved over here like 8-9 months ago, something like that. I don't know.
Okay. So let's start point by point. The one thing I would really love to talk about.
Wait. Let me go first here because I didn't prepare too much, but I did. I have the Reddit post screenshotted and stuff. And the first thing I want to talk about is that you go with this like what should I say, like this I don't want to be rude kind of attitude, like something. But then the stuff you said was like, I don't know, it was kind of like really out of nowhere, personal attack, like pretty much no reason. And my biggest issue with it is that it seemed pretty targeted, and everyone was talking about the guide, and then you just came at me, you didn't say anything about the guide. And then but at the same time it feels like you don't really know anything about me. So like if I can just read some of this, or
read it out. Where exactly?
You're saying he plays on high platinum elo, smurfs on some poor players, and rather unsmooth mechanics. Choice of build seems awkward too. And then mechanically, elo wise and decision making wise would be body, full sand, or me, saying the 3 best or some of the best Azirs. So, and then later on you say someone mentions that I'm D1 with Master Challenger Elo, and then you say, oh, is he? And then you say you just looked at my stream, play in Southeast Asian servers, so clearly you don't really know, like you don't watch me, so that's why I'm saying, like, how would you know how my mechanics are, or what rank I am, or how my decision making?
Okay.
And the reason I think, like, can I one last thing is like the very end of these screenshots is where you're saying, this is why I felt like it was a personal attack, because at the end of that you say he says his account can't be found on OPGG, which is like, it feels like such bad faith, because why would I say that? It should be he can't be found on OPGG, not he says, because you can go to OPGG and you can see that you can't find the Green servers here.
True. Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for the fact that it can be definitely interpreted like seen as a personal attack. I didn't want to do it as a personal attack. I want to clarify that second part you talked about with the second comment that arose there underneath, where I talked about your stream being mentioning that you were playing SEA and the account not being found on op.gg. Actually, it is true. I never, or like I looked into your stream like once, probably half a year ago or so, and just wrote a short thing in the chat or so, and then never again after that. I watched some of your videos on YouTube though, because generally your editing style is rather interesting, just to kind of learn from it and see how like good editing can look like.
Yeah.
And in those videos, you mostly have, that's kind of one of the parts where I kind of viewed that kind of personal problem with sorry, I'm not really a native speaker, but the titles are mostly like rather clickbaity. They're like, high elo Azir OTP shows you how to carry, or challenger Azir, or
sure, well,
whatever.
that's YouTube,
those
right?
kinds of,
yeah,
that's YouTube, and to a certain degree I can understand it. I was just thinking, you know what, if you're actually D1, or if you're actually in that elo, I totally give it to you. And that's why I originally wrote to the dude that you were like playing on platinum elo, because when I remembered when you were in NA, when I watched you back then you were at like diamond 4 elo or platinum 1 elo, because that was basically just after you haven't played for 1.5 years or so.
sure, yeah,
Like,
yeah, I get that then.
That was why I wrote that you were somewhat, let's say, not very high elo or not high elo, because I remembered that from then, and I didn't really check it out first, which is my mistake. I should have like at least looked at your stream before writing that comment first, and looked if you were like playing on D1 elo in a different server, or maybe even master elo or something like that. That would have made things a lot easier, and I could have been more precise with what I said, and then it wouldn't have been like so much like a personal attack. The point about your stream, and where said that he says his account can be found on op.gg, it's just that I didn't remember the fact that SEA server and China server, for example, are not accessible to Western internet sites like op.gg or something like that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
The Garena servers are they don't have the right API. That's why OPGG doesn't work with them.
Yeah, I forgot about that, and actually just was not believing that you couldn't be found. Then I checked it afterwards, and you were actually like, I didn't even find the server.
Yeah.
Okay, so that out of the way. Actually, that's my mistake. I should have been precise in my let's say research before that. What I will stay true though is I don't think that your D1 being D1 on that SEA server. I don't know exactly how large the server is, but as far as it is not established as a major region or a minor region yet, I would say that the server is rather simple in that regard, since it probably hasn't got as many player base or as large a player base as the other servers. Is that right?
Yeah, it's definitely smaller, but like, I just have a problem with saying that D1 here is plat in NA when you're EU West, right?
Yep.
So have you played on NA?
Actually, I haven't. I've never been able to swap my account, or rather, I have never had interest because like 120 ping or so, it doesn't really benefit me.
Of course. So like, you understand where I'd be coming from, where like you haven't played on NA and you haven't played on any of the greener regions. So and you're comparing two regions you've never played on. Like, how would you know if D1 here is plat NA or D1 here is challenger NA or anything like that, regardless of the fact that if it is or isn't, you know?
True. Okay. So, well, I can say that I can agree to that. I have no real personal experience. You can argue though that there's a lot of experienced and, let's say, really good and strong players from basically EU, NA, and probably even Korea, so who have traveled or have played on a lot of different servers. Let's take, for example, you know that TF Play Challenge, hitting rank 1 on every single server.
Right, yeah.
Or probably in EUW, you've heard of the Red IRL streamer, who is rather popular by now because his videos are actually rather funny.
Yeah.
He's a rather funny dude. Originally was super toxic and kind of one of the creators of L9 image. There's a lot of streamers, or in EUW, especially in Germany, there's a streamer called No Way For You, who is actually, I live in Germany, so I can, let's say, I can understand and relate to a lot of things that he is talking about. So there's some streamers like those three I mentioned. They have traveled to both NA, to EU, and probably even gone to Korea for a time. And kind of my saying that a certain server is better than another is, as I said, not really based on personal information, but rather on information of, let's say, relatable and reliable sources.
Okay,
like
none of them have played on this server either, though, right?
True. They have not played on your server. I would stick with the argument that the server in general is not really recognized by Riot yet, or by the player base.
Right. So to fill you in, most pro players here are required to get challenger on the Korean server first. And you can see on my stream we play against pro players all the time. So, you know, we're playing against Korean challenger players every day on stream.
Oh, I don't know how I can kind of verify that. As far as I am concerned, like, I can't really check up the names that you've got, and I can't really access them on a different kind of different.
Right. But like I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is just that, like, you're kind of just putting these things out there without being fully informed, which I think is irresponsible.
Well,
I mean, I don't make any claims to be better than any other Azir mains or worse or anything like that. Like, you mentioned Body and Full Sand. I think they're both great players. I have nothing against them. I like Body a lot. I watch his stream.
Yep.
But like, I would consider us all like good Azir mains. I wouldn't say like I don't think it's a competition really. It's not a zero-sum game. It's not like I'm stealing viewers from other people just because people are.
Well, about that viewership, that I want to get rid of that as quickly as possible, because it can be definitely a problem if we kind of suspect or have kind of suspicions about each other that someone might interfere with our own viewership and stuff like that. I would say, for you, it definitely has become your kind of business, doesn't it? Like editing videos and streaming on Twitch and putting YouTube videos out. I think you should definitely have some income from that. I don't know how exactly and how much. I won't even get into that. But for you, it's kind of more important than for me. For me, it's right now just a kind of testing thing, like testing the field. How much can I do with what I do, and how far can I get? But I will definitely not. I've never had the intention of putting forward that you are kind of competing with me about viewers. The problem, like, I'm actually really truly sorry for being so competitive in my comment about that. I had mainly a problem with the kind of hype that was created about that. It was like, for example, if I might read out the first comment underneath which has 30 upvotes, underneath the post on Reddit. The king has spoken. It is now official. The sorcery tree fucking sucks. There's a kind of banter in that, but if you actually take that comment somewhat unreflected, it is extremely one-sided. It kind of means that you are above the others already in the indication that you are the king. I mean, sure, your name gives it, and to a certain degree, you can banter about it and just let it be like that. I was then reading further comments, and then kind of been true for a long time. Some people give their opinion. I mean, in terms of runes, everyone disagrees with another. I think there's so many fittable runes and so many different playstyles that fit those runes that you can't really argue about that quote. It's just about you being kind of hyped up from the player base there. Kind of been true for a long time, yeah, but now I have a link I can spam to anybody who says otherwise, hence it is official. Like already that the fact that you point out that you do a guide in which you kind of jokingly say sorcery fucking sucks, even though you actually stayed to that point, you kind of said it jokingly. Hence it is official is somewhat what I would just, it just feels like there's Azir players, especially on Reddit, who think that everything a certain established Azir player says has to be taken as the important or the only valid thing, and you being Drift King Azir, the kind of oldest or the first Azir main on the server, the first on the server to play Azir like 5, 6, 7 seasons ago, just makes it seem like they're taking your guide unreflected. And
well, don't you
is good for,
go ahead.
It goes further than that. You can take barrier if you're a coward. Sheesh, never taking it again. Another comment that goes into the kind of let's say hype dominance that you created with this guide.
I think those comments are pretty facetious now. Like I don't think they're being serious. Like I don't think anyone's gonna stop taking barrier just because I say you're a coward. I think it's, at least I would say it's clear in the video that I offer up barrier as a suggestion, like you can take this rune. I think people understand that, like, you can take this is what I'm saying. Like this is also something that's viable, but then just that I have a personal opinion about it. I mean, yeah, if you watch my stream or like watch through my like my games, I take barrier all the time. Like it's just broken. So like,
actually,
like I say that, but I take barrier all the time.
That would have been a point where I disagree with you, but we can talk about those kind of situational things later.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Like everyone has his own playstyle, and to be honest, I think you're rather successful with yours, and to me it's very effective playing Ignite, Electrocute or something like that. So I would just go and try to explain how I went from that to like attacking you on a personal level.
Can I just
I didn't intend to,
can I just say something about what you just said?
Yep.
I think yes, there is an essence of preference to all these things, and I mentioned preference at times in the guide. However, it's not really much of a guide if I just say it's preference, you can do what you want. Like there needs to be some sort of direction, and I think a guide like this is what I think is best for like the average player, because the players who are watching this guide and taking it verbatim are players who are probably new or aren't really thinking for themselves yet about Azir.
Don't really get at your viewership too hard now.
No. What I'm saying is there's people who aren't like coming up with their own builds. Obviously, that's why they're watching the guide.
True. Exactly,
so this is what I think would be best for the average Azir player who isn't at the point of making their own stuff yet. I mean, they can try this out, and then I expect from this they can branch out and learn their own things, and decide what is right for them.
True. That would exactly be the reason I said that I respect the fact that you did a guide and that you mentioned a lot of different options and said what you think was most suitable for most players. I think that's the point where I said your guide was actually a very high quality video and a very reasonable one to do. So I really don't have a lot of problems with the guide. I would disagree on some things, but that's not why I wrote this comment.
Sure, yeah.
But we have common ground on the guide, let's say that. I think the thing I did really poorly in this comment was I made it look like I needed to I am kind of in a rivalry with you and try to personally put you down and let you look like you're like an idiot or just a poor Azir player compared to the real greats or something like that. I know that it sounds quite like that, and I'm literally truly sorry for that, because I feel like it is underneath any Azir main to kind of rival around that and be so, let's say, toxic. That's the most fucking sad thing, though, is that I actually wrote I don't want to appear rude because I truly didn't want to, yet I was rude in the comment. And it is really tough if you want to kind of get at some point about a player. Like, for example, I wanted to get at a point that you were rather, let's say, having a followership who think you're extremely, let's say, extremely good and probably like, since you're Drift King Azir, probably above the others. I wanted to get at the point, yet I didn't want to offend you personally, and this is really hard to balance. And I'm literally, as I said, I apologize another time. I failed at getting the right balance between pointing out that they have to reflect correctly about what you said and to probably look for other established Azir mains' opinions as well if they want to, like, kind of create a correct view on how to play Azir. So I think that's where we can kind of settle somewhat without being a problem.
So I think that's just kind of the essence of fan bases. Like, that's kind of how they are. Like, you know, TSM fans are gonna blindly support TSM even if they fucking suck or they do terrible shit. You know, or like any player, any fan base is gonna be like that. Yeah.
Okay. I would say we try and leave it rather with it. I think you understand now that I was not intending to put you down, even though I somewhat did and somewhat went too much on a personal level without really having enough, let's say, evidence or enough research to really say, okay, in fact, you are not as good as a Azir player. I would still say that I think that your playstyle on Azir and mechanics are not as good as mine. I would say that's just because I'm opinionated about myself as well, and I'm pretty certain that if you kind of would say, you know what, if we compare me to Witness Azir, I would still be the better one. So I think it's probably rather, let's say, evident that either of us is kind of thinking of himself as a great Azir and doesn't really want to, let's say, be put down beneath another or something like that. What I wanted to get at with that comment about your runes, you often experiment on your YouTube channel with runes and talk about crazy Korean builds. For example, I've had a video about you going Dark Harvest on Azir since it was kind of popular in Korea or something like that. Those experimental rune choices are probably the reason I said that you were taking poor choices with rune setup and something like that. I think if you're honest about it, I think you would say that Dark Harvest or Fleet Footwork, for example, Fleet Footwork against Syndra, are runes you shouldn't really take on Azir.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't put them in the guide, right? They're just for fun videos.
That's the point. That's why I agree on your guide in the most parts. I was interested, or let's say rather, I was kind of curious. I think you do that rather for entertainment than because you're convinced about it. And
well, of course, yeah,
exactly. And that's why I am also kind of, let's say, going backwards on that point. Your rune choices being awkward is just a fact of you being an entertainer mostly, rather than interested in climbing the ladder.
Well, something I talk about almost every stream, and Jack can probably tell you this, is that one of the things I focus on most is, like, I want chat to think for themselves, right? Like they'll ask me a question, and I mean I can give you the answer, but like if I'm just giving you the answer, you're never gonna get anywhere. That's why whenever people ask about coaching and stuff like that, that's why I always say I don't offer coaching or anything, because if I just tell you what to do, you're never gonna get anywhere. So like this is something we always go over, which is why like again, it's not like I'm telling people exactly how they need to play. This is how every Azir needs to play. You know? Like
okay, well then about that I will put back or go backwards on that comment. I can probably delete it if you like, if you want to stay
it's fine.
on.
I was just like I didn't really know what the point of the comment was. That's why I felt like it was just a personal attack, because it seems like all you were commenting for was to be like, you guys shouldn't listen to this guy, I'm better, you guys should listen to me instead. That's kind of how it came off.
Okay, then as I said, I don't want to appear that way, and since it sounds that way and I can really see your points about it, that's why I basically offered to put it down. Another general thing I would like to talk to you about. Why do you think sorcery tree sucks? I want to get at this one.
So you want to get into the guide now? Like we can go like point by point through the guide with things you disagree with.
Not point by point. I'm just interested about the sorcery thing. I think point by point we would disagree on like 2, 3, 4 things which are rather important for us here, because second rune tree or going for ignite or electrocute or something.
Yeah, we can go over
rather
all this
want to
stuff.
go at the sorcery. Why do you think it sucks?
Well, I think for an average Azir player, having the safety of healing is just going to be way more valuable. That's the big one.
So you go with the.
Which page are we talking about?
Okay, we're talking as well. First of all, sorcery second. Like sorcery first is out of the window. I definitely agree. Sorcery first is just way worse than precision or domination. Sorcery second is where I think I would disagree on sorcery second. You say for the average Azir, healing is rather valuable and probably more valuable than the sorcery things.
So can we talk about one page at a time? Like, do you want to talk about Hailed Blades with sorcery secondary or Conqueror with sorcery secondary? Or both? You think both?
We start with the Conqueror, because I agree that Conqueror is better than Electrocute than Lethal Tempo. I don't agree that Hail of Blades is better than Electrocute. So that's another point that I would disagree with.
We'll go with Conqueror and then
Sorcery. We'll go with Conqueror and Sorcery, yeah. Okay,
so I talked about this with someone on the last stream too, where I think that I had a few points. The first was just like your gold value, which numbers can lie sometimes, or like numbers aren't everything, obviously. Like, you can say I don't know, like what is it, wasn't it like Aqua Dragon or something that did the math with like Rage Blade gives you like the highest DPS or some stupid shit like that?
Oh wait, did someone do this?
It was a long time ago, but they were like, if you go like 5 Nashers and a Rage Blade or something, it's the highest DPS. Like, yeah, but you know, like you're wasting so much gold and it's not really realistic. And yeah. So like I use this gold value as just like a supplementary argument against it. So what are you taking in Orc Tree? Are you taking Transcendence Gathering Storm or Transcendence
normally Scourge? Transcendence Scourge. If I take secondary sorcery together with precision, I will go with Transcendence Mana Flow Band.
Say that again. Say the second part again.
Mana Flow Band and Transcendence when going precision first.
Okay. Wait. Are you not taking Presence of Mind?
I'm taking Presence of Mind. Yes.
You're taking Presence of Mind and Mana Flow Band?
Exactly.
What are you building?
See, I think we're just quite a few things or quite a few details. Where
what are you building? Are you building?
I'm building Nashor's Tooth into Nashor's Tooth into either.
Say Ludens. Please say Nashor's into Ludens if you're going Transcendence Mana.
AP damage.
You cut out. Say that again.
Or if it's mostly tanks, mostly front to back team fights, I go for Leandris a lot.
Wait,
So
say the first one again. You cut out.
Nashors into Banshees, Zonias, or Leandries.
Okay.
I can put my mic closer, then it should be better.
You're good. You're good. Okay, so I would say it's first of all, it's kind of unnecessary to take Manifold Ban and Presence of Mind. I think it's much. I don't think you need that much mana.
I can understand. However, I would disagree because of one thing. I don't know how it is for you, but I play the lane extremely kill oriented and extremely bully like. I trade especially against melees, but that's there we have this common ground that we trade against melees extremely aggressive, but a Syndra or a Seraph, I would go in the lane and trade extremely aggressive. And mana flow band and trading extremely aggressive synergize just because of the fact that you can trade more often. What?
Sorry.
You were talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I repeat?
Yeah, say that again, please. Sorry.
I don't know how it is with you, but for me, I trade extremely aggressive in, let's say, 90 to 95% of matchups. And I'm playing Azir basically as a lane bully.
Right.
And going for mana flow band allows you to kind of spam Q auto attack,
I get that.
Auto attack, auto attack.
My problem with that is like I don't think it's really as viable to play Azir that way the higher up in ranks you go. Like
I'm mastered here in EUW. It's pretty valuable, I can tell you that.
Sure. I don't know. I just feel like if you're playing against good mid laners, you're not gonna be able to just sit around poking them and not controlling your wave.
It works against basically every champ. Really, it depends on how you play, because Azir has as an advantage against basically 80 to 90% of mid laners. Azir has rather consistent poke. You can like hitting a Q auto attack is way easier than, for example, on playing Ziggs, hitting your Q bomb if you position correctly. As Azir, you can like position away from the minion wave, and then the Q can be easily dodged.
Sure.
While Ziggs is considered like rather strong against Azir because of the range advantage and the upwards wave clear of Ziggs and being able to push Azir in at some point. But I would say that if you play you can play against those kinds of champions by having the more secure or easily to hit poke, while still being able to move around. For example, attack move, dodging enemy skill shots while hitting with your W is rather possible. And that's why I think that if you kind of play correctly, you can bully basically every matchup. LeBlanc or Syndra are probably hard, but LeBlanc can be easily dealt with. Syndra's
I don't have a problem with LeBlanc, but yeah, I agree with Syndra. And like, I think Syndra and Cassiopeia.
Do you?
No.
Do you play Electrocute? No, you don't. Electrocute is really good against LeBlanc and Cassiopeia.
We can get into that later because I feel very strongly about this.
Say against LeBlanc it works. About the mana flow band, if you go precision only, it's kind of obvious. Before you kill the enemy mid laner, you don't really have enough mana to play aggressive. Like, we agree on that, yeah?
Wait, say
before
that
you
again?
get one kill with what I wanted to say, before you get one kill with precision, if you have precision only,
right,
and have presence of mind, before you get one kill, you will not be able to have enough mana to actually pressure or poke enemy mid laners in basically every matchup. Would you agree on that? Or?
I disagree. I think you can play aggressively. You just have to manage your mana properly. Like, no, you're not gonna be queuing off a cooldown. But if you're controlling your wave properly and you're poking at the right time, if you go Doran's Darkseal, I think it's plenty mana poke.
Oh, that's another thing. I rarely go Darkseal, but
yeah, I go Darkseal every game, and I think this is like a playstyle difference too. But like you've got your aggressive playstyle. I much more focus on wave control, and like I'm more of a relaxed laner. But I used to play like you a lot too, like before. Like when I started playing again recently, my playstyle was like completely different. Which I think if you are playing like that, sure, but then I don't think I would ever take Conqueror in that situation. Then if you're playing that aggressively in lane, It depends on the matchup, I guess. But
don't. Yes. I used to play Electrocute or Hail of Blades only and play with this kind of playstyle, but it didn't really get me good results. I had like 52% win rate or so, which is not enough.
I would say Conqueror is more like a team fighting rune, obviously. I mean, I'm sure we can agree on that.
True.
That's pretty simple. But I think like if you're playing that aggressively in lane, you might as well just be taking Domination Tree anyway. So
I often do take Domination Tree. The thing about Conqueror, what I think can be underestimated is you stack it up with 5 damaging abilities. You need a Q, an auto attack, another auto attack, an E probably, and an R. You have Conqueror stacked.
yeah.
The most matchups of Azir, like for example, let's say we can agree every melee matchup you take or can really easily take Conqueror into, or there's 1 or 2 melee matchup where it doesn't work.
Yeah, most
Diana,
probably.
Talon, Zed, you can take Conqueror into most of them. Zed probably not.
Zed and Talon, I would
Talon.
take Blades, but like Diana, Echo, Silas, I would for sure take.
Okay, Diana, Echo, Silas is definitely yes. I ban Echo, by the way, so I don't really
I ban
care about the
Kassadin and Dodge Echoes, yeah.
Actually, Kassadin is one of
Don't
the matchups
fucking AD Azir me, dude. Don't do it. I swear to God, I'll leave the call.
You can't. Okay, we won't talk about Kassadin. I'm fine with it.
Don't bring out the AD Azir. Actually, can't do it.
I won't.
Okay.
What I was getting at is you can punish Kassadin with Conqueror and Mana Flow Band.
Well, I agree. I just think that Kassadin, to an extent, it doesn't really matter if you like that. He still Kassadin.
That's kind of the point why I don't like Kassadin matchups either. I think I win them, and I often can carry games, since actually you can at some point lane against Kassadin if you have established a somewhat equal or even a lead with Conqueror. You can outplay him. But what I wanted to say is you can, for example, you can bully people with Conqueror rather easily by getting a hit when enemy tries to last hit a minion, then using a Q hit and another time, and the bonus AP of those, like you get like 10 AP or so at level 3 or so with 1 or 2 hits, makes your damaging ability like deal 6 more damage or something like that. And if you get 3 to 4 hits, you basically deal 30 bonus damage each time you trade, and Conqueror has no cooldown, so it's pretty valuable at some point. And it is underestimated, in my opinion, that against champions like Ryze, Cassiopeia, or something, or against those champions who are generally better or similar DPS to Azir.
I think Cassiopeia matchup is just fucked, man.
Cassiopeia matchup is hard, but I think you have a really clean or clear win condition, because Cassiopeia stays rather squishy for a long time with going tier or just the upgraded version, Archangel stuff. She stays rather squishy, and you have a very clean win condition against Cassiopeia.
I think good Cassiopeia is like the way you lose that matchup at Cassio. If you're like a Cassiopeia main, there's like no way. If you hit your Qs, it's just doomed.
The problem, I wouldn't say so. I wanted to get with this Conqueror done. Conqueror allows you at some point to threaten all ins rather easily against certain matchups. If you get 2 to 3 stacks without taking damage, or 2 to 3 hits without taking damage, you have all-in pressure already, because your DPS with 3 soldiers and Conqueror is significantly higher than most other mid laners. And if you take Ignite with it, you have a lot of healing to survive enemy burst while Conqueror is active. So that can be a choice if you play it and test it out for a bit with a lot of kiting and attack moving. About that Cassiopeia matchup. That's the reason
I move on to other things.
Yeah.
I don't really think we disagree about the Cassiopeia matchup too much.
I think we do. I would say Cassiopeia is one of the rather easiest matchups for Azir to punish. Like, there's one way.
There's literally no way, dude.
In my opinion, there's one way you can punish her, and very efficiently, and then all other play styles will lose automatically. And that's why I say you should consider taking Electrocute at some point. Cassiopeia,
there's no way you proc Electrocute before she has you at half health. I can't believe that.
There is. Azir outranges Cassiopeia with his Q. Azir Q outranges Cassiopeia.
Okay,
so what you want to do?
Not really. If not her Q, no. Like the same
her Q,
range.
yes, but you can disengage dash.
Okay, then you're down 110 mana now.
Yes, you are, and you have traded like 30% of her HP with one Electrocute rotation. And if you go,
and she's on half your HP by Q and like 3Es,
no,
and then she just chases you down because she has a bonus move speed. What do you mean no? Have you never played against a Cassiopeia main?
I have played against so many Cassiopeia mains. Do you know?
Okay.
There's a French player, streamer, Sardok, who's kind of Cassiopeia OTP.
Sure.
He's like Master Elo or something like that. That's not the point. Not playing against Cassiopeia mains. You can know I have 2 million mastery points. I've played against so many Cassiopeia mains,
dude.
I mean, it's just you wanna try it out for once, in my opinion. It's really worth it. You should take Electrocute and go with.
Let's just talk about Electrocute then, because I think Electrocute is just trash. You
think Electrocute is the worst version of Hail of Blades?
That's what you said in your, pretty much, exactly. Yeah. I would
say Hail of Blades and Electrocute feel different things. I think Hail of Blades is much better in the late game than Electrocute. I agree on that, because it's just like 3 hits in the late game are like bonus 200 damage or something like that in short time.
Right.
Electrocute is like 100 damage or so. It's like very clear that Hail of Blades late game is stronger than Electrocute. What Electrocute is better at is not taking damage. You're trading without getting traded back. That's the
with what? Wait. Say that again.
On Hail of Blades, in comparison to Electrocute, on Hail of Blades you have to kind of stand still or move very slow parts. And
what? Really... how so?
The 3 hits you get from Hail of Blades are extremely short, like in short duration. You have to do 3 hits in like 1 second or so.
No, you don't have to. They buffed it. Sure. Like 2 hits is you can get 2 autos with Hail Blades in the span of the time you do 1 auto without, basically.
Exactly, that's what I meant. You get up to 3 hits in 1 second.
And you can attack move in between them.
You can attack move, but the attack moving, since the attack speed is that large, is you move very small areas.
It's minimal, but it doesn't mean you have to move that small. There's a pretty decent time. They buffed the time in between autos. It's like 3 seconds or something.
True, but why would you delay your auto attacks to get a larger?
Why would you delay your auto attacks to reposition? Are you really asking that right now?
Yeah, because why do you take a Hail of Blades? To get those 3 auto attacks as quickly as possible, because that's like a huge bursty trade. If you have enough attack speed at some point, or if you have, let's say, a medium attack speed, you will also be able to do exactly the same thing if you want to reposition.
No.
You will be able to hit, reposition, and hit again.
Hail of Blades in early game is not about 3 autos. It's about 2. It's about getting an extra auto with a max range Q.
So you want to Q auto and then leave the trade as possible.
It's not really a trade. You're just poking. Like, it's such long range. You outrange almost everyone with that trade.
That's why I said
you don't even need to Q. And like, it's so much. Like, you can just W and then auto early game poking melee matchups like Talon or Zed.
Okay, but
so you're saving mana.
Yeah, I would say it works against Zed and Talon, but I think Electrocute is still kind of a similar thing, but allows you to take less damage in return. With Hail of Blades,
I can't with this. Like, okay, so you're against Talon, right? Or Zed or some melee matchup, Echo, like whatever. So
yes,
he goes for a CS with Electrocute. You W auto Q auto proc Electrocute.
Well, if he goes for a CS, then it's super simple. The question is, what happens if he doesn't go for a CS and just looks for a trade?
Okay, so you W auto Q auto, right? For Electrocute proc. And then Hail of Blades, you get W auto Q auto, and often another auto. So you're getting like 2 or 3 extra auto attacks.
Wait. What you just said is you get W auto, Q auto, and after that another auto.
Yeah. Almost all the time if you go for CS.
But after you Q auto, you will take about half a second or a second to get another auto. And while they're disengaging,
they're running away.
They're definitely disengaging once you started hitting them with Electrocute, and probably the Q is just to follow the first disengage. It's pretty unlikely to get 2 auto attacks after the Q. It's very likely you get 2 auto attacks pre-Q and then 1 after the Q, but I don't think you will get 2 auto attacks after the Q.
I think the last auto after the Q is fast enough that another auto is basically just like Q autoing. I think if you Q behind them, you can definitely get auto at the end.
But I don't know if you've noticed it, or I will test it out or you can test it out in practice tool, or I will do that. You can Q auto, and the fast auto attack, the third auto attack from Hail of Blades will be extremely fast, but after that you will have like half a second to a second delay, like depends on your attack speed being like 0.8 or so. You will have 0.8 seconds before the next auto attack comes through, and in this time, like, it is very likely that they have already left the trade as quick, or left the position of your soldier as quick.
But you've still got an extra auto attack, which I'm pretty sure is more damage than Electrocute.
You get in true, and that's why I say it's rather simple to punish them last hitting with Hail of Blades. That's true. I would say that the problem arises when you have a Zed, for example, that looks for a trade with his W, he has his W up. You put a soldier, do those 2 Hail of Blades auto attacks with the soldier, and then the Zed W's forward. What's your counterplay then? You have to step backwards, yeah, to dodge the W, or step to the side to dodge the EQ Shuriken combo.
I'd probably just E him. What level are we talking? Like pre-6 or?
Okay, pre-6 you can probably E him, and it's probably possible. If he uses EQ on you while you E4, it can be still rather close, because the burst of Zed it's pretty insane. But after 6 you definitely can't E, yeah? We agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, after 6 you definitely have to avoid the counter trade of Zed and step backwards instead of putting your Q auto attack still on top of that. So you have to step backwards. If he looks for the trade and you dodged it, you can then follow up with Q and hit him once more, probably, yeah?
I just think you're misunderstanding Hail Blades, and you think it's like locking you into these autos. You can move. There's 3 seconds between auto. So like if he W's in, you can auto him and then sidestep or E out or whatever you're gonna do, and then auto again. So and then you can Q, and then you can auto like.
But that's kind of the point why I'm thinking, why would you take Hail of Blades if you have so much time to step around in between and just
it's more damage. That's why.
Yeah, it's more damage.
It literally just is more damage. An auto is more damage than like.
True, but only if you actually get them, apart from the time where on Electrocute you would get another free auto attack normally. Like if you have 0.8 seconds attack, or 0.88 attack speed, you will have 0.8 seconds to step away from where you currently are with your attack moving. So you can hit every 0.8 seconds. With Hail of Blades, if you want to dodge enemy skill shots, you still have to step away, which means you can delay your 2 auto attacks from Hail of Blades, or your 1 auto attack, or the 3rd auto attack, or any auto attacks from Hail of Blades being delayed just makes the Rune lose DPS, because otherwise you will also hit them. Like you only win in DPS in Hail of Blades if you hit them more often in the same span of time than with Electrocute.
Sure.
But if you wanna
not necessarily, no. Okay, so say you like auto Q auto when they're going in or whatever, or repositioning or whatever. That doesn't mean you can't auto reposition like you would with Electrocute and then auto, and now you already have more damage than with Electrocute. Like three auto attacks is more damage than 2 auto attacks.
True, I would just say that if you're trying to get the same distance stepped or covered with attack moving, you will not have more auto attacks, or
but you still do, because if you move and then you can auto twice after you've repositioned, you'll still have Hail Blades.
Reposition, you still want to like you auto twice and you stand still for those 2 auto attacks, you still have to reposition another time. Like you're not gonna attack move only once.
I don't want to like pivot out of this or anything, but like we're still talking about lane phase only, about like random lane phase 1v1s. Like you're ignoring the entire rest of the game where Hail Blades is just flat out. I'm sure we can agree Hail Blades is just 1,000,000% better for the rest of the game.
I would say for the first 50 minutes, Electrocute gives you better plays.
15, you said?
Yeah, first 15, because I would say that in the first 10 minutes, where we agree that laning phase is basically taking part in, I would definitely say Electrocute is better, and for getting better out of lane will give you, let's say, a slight gold advantage, mostly over an enemy mid lane, or XP advantage, some sort of advantage from being in a better position in the laning phase, and that will last until probably
I don't think
50 minutes.
I don't think the difference would be drastic enough to where you have like another item over Hail Blades just because you Electrocute.
Definitely not another item. That is not
like
the difference,
components or anything like that. I don't think there's a gold difference large enough.
I'm pretty certain it will be about components. I think
like
for example,
but okay, but like you're talking like hard all-ins. Like you can, it's just I don't understand how Electrocute can be better proccing every 30 seconds instead of 8 seconds. Like maybe in this instance of like this 5-second time window, maybe it's more damage. I'm still not even open to conceding that. But then 8 seconds later, you can trade again, and then 8 seconds later you can trade again, and then 8 seconds later. All right, Electrocute might be back up.
I'm not certain if it is 30 seconds on level whatever.
25 to 20 seconds. 25 seconds.
Yeah. The cooldown is definitely much larger than Hail of Blades. What I would, for example,
you can get 3 Hail Blades procs in the time it would take you to get one.
Yeah. What I want to kind of point out is try it against, for example, Cassiopeia or LeBlanc, matchups where you can't really take or afford to take trades. Holy fuck, my my tongue.
Okay.
Take trades where you try to get those Hail of Blades rotation out quickly and not take damage in return. I think those are kind of the trades where it's really problematic to take Hail of Blades.
I just have a problem with taking stuff solely for lane.
Oh, okay.
I think as soon as team fights start, Hail Blades is just better.
That's where we disagree on our most basic level. There's some points I generally mostly take Conqueror, yes, but I will definitely be taking laning phase only oriented runes for certain matchups. I think it is much underestimated to get let's say pressure or a lead in the laning phase in comparison to your late game.
Sure, and I would agree that like you can take runes that help your lane phase, but I don't think if you're laning against Ziggs or something, I don't think it's worth to take Hail Blades or Electrocute or whatever against Ziggs when they have a Maokai and a Nautilus and a Sejuani on their team too.
True. Then against Ziggs, I already mentioned, I think you can be as a kind of all-inning in the lane. But that's the point. You would probably not look for all-ins against the Ziggs in the laning phase, would you? If it offers itself, yes.
Maybe. Sure I mean, I find Ziggs to be a pretty easy matchup.
Yeah, me too. I thought that you can play extremely aggressive and put Ziggs behind in CS as well as XP with Conqueror as well.
I think you can take whatever against Ziggs. You can kind of just ignore that matchup and look to the rest of the game.
Oh, so well, that's my question. Would you say that you will go equal against Ziggs, or would you say that against Ziggs you will always get ahead?
I feel like against Ziggs you would most of the time be ahead. Because I would say being even against Ziggs is ahead for Azir. I think any matchup where you go at least even out of lane phase, you win.
True. You will have more impact in team fights and probably win the duel later on. I was talking about getting like a gold lead or XP lead or third plating lead against Ziggs. That was what I wanted to get at with being ahead against Ziggs. True. If you're equal against Ziggs, you have already kind of won or checked off one mark of your to-do list as Azir.
Right.
Then you have basically a better late game, but I think you can also punish the matchup. Like you can basically punish every matchup but one or two. But and thought that against Ziggs, you should definitely try and look for those kind of Conqueror all-ins. I think you can basically bully him or let's say get a slight CS lead, get an XP lead, get some leads everywhere. in the matchup if it stays 1v1 without jungler impact.
Ziggs, yeah, for sure.
I see your chat right now. This sounds political. Yeah, we're kind of okay. The point is, or the problem for me seems that I think our difference within Electrocute and Hail of Blades preference is hard to resolve.
Well,
not gonna lie.
I just think like, so you're saying that Electrocute gives you a big advantage lane phase.
Actually,
for Hail of Blades.
taking Electrocute, and I'm taking Electrocute. Let's say I take it in some matchups. I will just go quickly over the matchups because that's rather important. If you count out some matchups,
I don't even think it matters because I think whatever the matchup is, Hail of Blades is still gonna be better than Electrocute. But
well,
even then, again, I say that I don't think the lead that you're saying that you get from Electrocute early would be enough to make it worth not taking Hail of Blades as soon as you get into Teamfights.
Yeah, well, that's where we disagree. But I wanted to get there's 2 to 3 matchups I will always take Electrocute over Hail of Blades, which are Cassiopeia, LeBlanc, and probably Zed. Those are the main 3 matchups I would say that Electrocute is better than Hail of Blades and will give you a really sizable lead in the laning phase. Like let's say, basically against or Fizz as well. There's my kind of rule for those matchups is, or at least for Fizz, Zed, and
can someone screenshot my guide
Fizz,
right
Zed,
now?
Those
and,
2 matchups, I want to be up at least
the Hail of Blades versus Electrocute part,
CS by minute
where I do the
10.
math.
Like,
Can someone screenshot the for me real
CS
quick?
advantage and be up 2 levels or so with Electrocute.
Put it in Discord.
I think I won't be able to achieve that with Hail of Blades. And that is an advantage that actually will carry on for you 2 minutes 16 to 20 where split pushing happens, where the enemy Z goes to the side lane. They are suddenly unable to even threaten you in the slightest. And I think actually Electrocute will be able to achieve that if you play with it kind of properly.
I'm just really not seeing how like Electrocute is giving you more than Hail of Blades. Like I still think you haven't shown how it's like more impactful to have like a small burst every 25 seconds versus every 8 seconds.
For example, let me give you a concrete example against Zed. For say, if you take Electrocute and enemy Z has hit level 3 or level 4, you have hit level 3, level 4, you're equal level. If the wave is approximately equal, both minion waves have matched in the middle of the lane, while the enemy Z will mostly not be able to walk up. Yeah, if he walks up, you definitely get a free trade. So he won't walk up. Imagine he doesn't walk up. What I think that Azir Electrocute over Hail of Blades makes it worth it, that is that you can actually walk up to Zed then, place a soldier in his backline minion position. If he still just goes back, then of course it's rather free. If he doesn't go back and tries to kind of punish you for walking up into the minion wave, then you have an advantage by taking Electrocute by just giving a hit, kiting backwards if he tries to trade. If he tries to trade then and you have kited backwards, you can Q backwards, so Q towards you, and then he runs into a Q hit and then takes Electrocute and you immediately leave the trade. While if you take Hail of Blades, to make the rune worth, you have to get 3 hits, which allows you.
I disagree with that. Like I think even getting 1 extra auto and then proccing it again 8 seconds later, you've done it. You've done more than Electrocute.
Exactly, but you need 3 hits to proc 1 more order than with Electrocute rotation. Yeah, like Electrocute rotation is 1 hit, Q hit, and disengage the trade.
Okay, Hail of Blades you can do
2 hits, Q hit. That's basically the rotation where you outshine Electrocute.
Right. And then you can do that again 8 seconds later.
Exactly.
And you've like doubled
I
damage.
say what my point is that with the Hail of Blades 2 hits, Q hit, you need to engage in the fight a little bit longer, or you need to stand in front of Zed a little bit longer than when
I don't think you do though. I think actually you can get 2 autos in the span of 1.
I'll have to go into the into the
there's also
training mode for that.
Also, one other
Practice
thing
too.
that you said that I disagree with, that like I have a problem with not, I don't know how to say this, with not taking a free lane phase. You're saying if Zed refuses to walk up, then you can walk up to him. I have no problem if a Zed doesn't want to walk up, just out farming and then just like you can freeze the wave if you want to, and then you just scale infinitely harder, and you've just won from there on already.
Yeah, okay. Well, first I have to disagree. If Zed doesn't walk up, you can't freeze the wave anymore. He can't really.
But you absolutely can. What are you talking about? But he has to farm with Q.
He doesn't. Well, if he doesn't contest the wave, if he just Qs and last hits with Q, then he is less likely to push the wave than you are with last hitting by W.
Then why are you last hitting with W? Just freeze with autos.
Not last hitting with W at all. True, exactly. But
it's so easy to just freeze with Azir if a Zed's queuing waves. Like, he's gonna push. There's no way he's like with 1 HP last hitting every minion.
He will not be able to queue every single minion. He will last hit, like, let's say, out of the first wave, he can last hit probably 4 with Qs, and the other 2 will definitely be not or unable to be lasted. Which is not the case if for Azir, you always last hit every 6 minions.
But if he's not doing that, then you're literally just winning. So I don't see any problem with that.
But the point is, at some point, you will automatically push the wave if you want to get every last hit, and Zed will not be able to last hit every minion with only his abilities.
I don't know. I still disagree with this. Like, I feel like it's so easy to just freeze against Zed. Like, you're saying he's never gonna try to battle combo you ever?
No. What I'm saying is level 1, for example.
Okay, level 1. Sure.
You step up at the wave. There's the first wave coming. You are looking to last hit, like, let's say, finish every single minion with a basic attack, and Zed will, for example, concede any priority at the wave and will not.
I already disagree with you. I know what you're gonna say. You can't freeze from level 1, but you can push and set up a freeze at level 1. Absolutely.
That you can do, but
if you push it onto their side first wave, 1,000,000% it'll push back into you.
Only if you do it correctly, but yeah, you can make it push back to you, exactly, and that's why you.
And then it's over from there. Like, it's done. As soon as it starts to push back into you, you can freeze the entire lane phase if you want. It's over.
Exactly.
And you've already won. That's my point.
Yeah, true. But the point what I'm trying to get at is, look, if you push the first wave and set up the freeze, you kind of allow Zed to at least trade you under turret if he hits level 2, level 3.
I would gladly take a full trade to freeze a wave for the entire lane phase. Yeah, of course.
True, but you don't have to if you take Electrocute.
It doesn't matter if you have to or don't have to. Okay, I would, rather than trading with him, I would gladly just end the entire game at level 2. Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit too dramatically formulated. But
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you just hard freeze against a Zed like that, like, you just outscale him, unless your team ints, which is out of your control, so there's no point in us talking about it. Then it's pretty much over. The lane's pretty much done.
Your job against Zed, in my opinion, is to get a 40 CS lead by min 10, or a kill, or at least 2 levels, or 1 to 2 levels. I think that is what you have to do against Zed, and I don't see how Halo Blades will allow you to do that, because at some point Zed's burst rotation deals probably more or similar damage to yours.
Right. Okay. I don't even care about that, to be honest. Like, you could press the attack in that matchup. It doesn't really matter. Like, if you're freezing the wave under your turret, there's nothing you can do. Like, I don't think you should, like, especially for this matchup, but it goes for most. If you're controlling the wave properly like that, there's no reason to take a rune for lane phase. Like, if you're able to just freeze like that, you're gonna get a lead no matter what. So you can just take Kale Blades and go for team fights.
The question is, how large is the lead going to be? And I think my point is that getting a larger lead.
I think if you're freezing the wave, it doesn't, like, you're just gonna have that lead. It doesn't matter what you have.
I want you to actually prove that, because that is that is a statement to not take a single laning phase rune or any kind of rune that helps you in the laning phase, and just by freezing the minion wave, you will automatically establish the similar lead. Not what you're saying is
well,
you
of course,
have the same
but
lead.
we're talking comparable runes like Hailblades, Electrocute, Conqueror.
Okay.
I think all of them can give you about the same amount of lead in this situation where you're freezing, because Zed can't step up against. I think we both agree that Zed can't step up against.
No, it
Azir
depends
if you're
on the rune,
freezing.
in my opinion. It really depends on the rune. If you have lethal tempo, that can, in my opinion.
Lethal tempo, trash. I'm not talking about lethal tempo.
Okay.
He's gonna trade and leave before you even proc it. Yeah.
We can eliminate Conqueror, in my opinion, too. I think you can't really set up a lead with Conqueror against that.
Yeah, I wouldn't take Conqueror against that. Okay, so let's just talk Electrocute and Hailblades.
So it is 2 runes that are responsible for getting a lead as Azir against Zed. So we agree on that, yeah?
I think you could probably do it with Conqueror too, but we'll talk Hailblades and Electrocute.
Well, if you think you can take Conqueror, well, that's we have to eliminate that problem, because I disagree. I think if you take a Conqueror in the Z matchup, it is somewhat likely that you will either get out traded early and have to back rather early because you're in threat of being bursted by the second rotation of his WEQ, or probably even him getting level 6 at some point. I think if you take Conqueror and you're getting those short, chunky trades from that, it doesn't matter if you freeze the wave at some point. You have to dodge every single of his rotations or trade efficiently back, which you can't do it with Conqueror. So taking Conqueror, I think you will lose
I disagree again. Like, I think if you're able to not take an entire burst, like if you can dodge his first few W combos, that has long ass cooldowns early, man. You can literally just beat him down. Like, if he misses his W ever early, especially if you have Conqueror, you can just E on him and
true, but then it's like not considering optimal play. Like a really good Zed will, if you're not really threatening him.
Okay, and a really good Azir will dodge kill shots, right? So like, but
well,
I don't understand this argument.
Did you see pro play? Any good pro player can, like, it doesn't really matter if you play Azir or, for example, Cassio. Do you agree? You can dodge, or champions with similar range, they can, in your opinion, like a really good Azir would always be able to dodge the Z skill shot, yeah?
Not always, but I would say probably most of the time, yeah.
You yeah.
I don't think you should be in range of WE ever. Yeah.
I don't see how this works. If you watch really good Z mains, they're basically winning, or they're basically killing enemy champions by hitting their skill shots. And do you think that the enemy champions players are always going to be not as good as the Z player? Like, I don't really see that.
Yeah, I think most of the time, if you're a one trick, you should almost always be at least going even in lane.
Consider you play a Z one trick. Is you being an Azir one trick, does that improve your ability to dodge his skill shots? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, like, you know your move speed, you know how you can trade back. Yeah, I think so.
Well, most champions have similar move speed at level 1, yeah? Or most champs have super similar movement speed on most levels.
Maybe, but like, I just don't think, like, we're talking pre-6, like, you literally can just E into Zed pre-6 with any of these 3 rooms. Like, he W's you E, he's only gonna hit one of his shurikens.
No, he can hit 2 shurikens. If you E on him when he W's, he will always be in between his W and his.
But you're not E-ing as he W's. Sorry, let me clarify. You're E-ing as he combos. Like, Zed's gonna full combo you, right? Like, most Zed mains are gonna WQ.
Okay, even. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, that's true. If you E while he full combos, you win the trade. But
and I don't think you should be in range of it otherwise. Like, I don't think if you can't E into him and win a trade, I don't think you should ever be in range of his WE combo.
Well, then you have to respect it every time he has it up.
Well,
then you have to literally back off the minion wave if he steps into the minion wave while he has his W and full rotation up. Which is why I say that Conqueror
I
doesn't
don't know.
work.
I still feel like you just literally outtrade him. Like,
yeah, you kind of make a point, and once I try to kind of let's say explore that point further, you kind of say, okay, well, I still feel that he wins the matchup. That's kind of really hard
it's
to really
because
argue about those
we're
points.
talking like these like can you dodge this? Is he gonna hit this? Like I don't think it matters. I think you still outtrade him, which is like I've been saying that the whole time. I think with any of these runes you still outtrade.
Okay, let's get back to let's not stay in details. You're right about that. Let's get back to general things. I agree. If you just stay safe in the Z matchup and have similar or a better CS than him by controlling the mini waves correctly, you will have a lead. What my point is, I think it's worth to take a rune that is not as strong in the late game, but really strong in the early game in the laning phase, and punish that lead, or let's say extend that lead to a degree where he's unable to really do anything on the map. That's what I'm trying to get at. You play somewhat 4v5 during the first 50 minutes of the game in matchups like Zed, Fizz, or Silas, for example.
I just don't see how Electrocute like it's gonna keep going back to this because I feel like
exactly.
There's no way like you literally just have not.
You can't see exactly. You can't see why I think that Electrocute offers.
I feel like you haven't given any evidence for why Electrocute is better than Halo Blades. You just keep saying I like the pressure. Like that's pretty much all you've said is that you like it. There's like no reason that it does more damage.
No, what I said is that you avoid or have better chances at avoiding trade back damage than with Halo Blades. That is rather simple to test out by taking both routes and taking matchups in which you generally have to avoid enemy trades like Cassiopeia, LeBlanc, Zed. Those matchups are so volatile that you have to be able to avoid enemy trades. Otherwise, you can be in a lot of pressure. So I think you can rather easy verify that that quote by me in game. It's problematic that I can't really show it to you, and you can't really prove me wrong about it.
I feel like I can though. Like even if you take a trade, you're still winning an effective damage trading because you can then trade again. Or
with Halo
Blades. Be back up. Yeah, of course. Like, if you're trading again, and okay, let's just whatever numbers it may be. Let's just say that. Let's say they both do 500 damage. Okay.
Yes.
But then I don't know. Let's say Zed also does. I don't know, 500 damage to you if he trades back with you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 500 versus 500 with both runes. But then 8 seconds later, it becomes 1,000 versus 500. And then 8 seconds later, it becomes 1,500 versus 1,000. And then from there, it just keeps scaling up for Halo Blades because you can pocket so much more.
First of all, that is not true. If it doesn't become 1,000 versus 500 8 seconds later, it would maximum become like 1,000 versus 800 or so, because Electrocute you can still trade. Like you don't proc your rune, but
right, sure.
Trade.
Sure, okay.
So clarify that first.
Yeah, okay.
The other thing is what I'm not. I agree. You deal more DPS or damage in the laning phase taking Halo Blades if you trade it off cooldown and take the trades every time it is up. What I think that Halo Blades doesn't offer is you don't take like 300 damage in return every time you deal 400 to 500 damage to a Z, or take 400 damage in return. I think with Halo Blades you're taking more damage in return than with Electrocute.
Maybe if you're, I feel like this is just bad attack moving then, but I won't do that because it's like. But
you would suggest that I'm not as attack moving.
I don't know, maybe just because of the things you're saying. Like I've never seen you play, but like I feel like if you're moving correctly with Halo Blades, like maybe you're just not used to attack moving with that much attack speed.
I play Halo Blades in the occasional times, and I know exactly how the runes work. The rune works.
Okay,
I played it for about 3 months or so.
We're still saying that you're effectively losing these trades. So you're saying, for example, if you do 500 with Electrocute now and trade 500 back, and then you're going to do that again in 25 seconds.
The point about Electrocute is...
No, I think that if you're with Hail of Blades, I think that trading more often, giving you more damage, is still going to be more... I explain this. It's still effectively you're staying higher HP than you would otherwise. If you're taking even trades every time with Electrocute, or you're taking slightly winning trades with Electrocute every time.
Not slightly, not even. I'm taking dominantly winning trades. Like I'm not taking... I take like 100 return damage for every 400 damage I deal against Zeds with Electrocute.
Okay,
because
and then
the thing is, the ZW is approximately the same range, attack range with your soldier, approximately. So if you position a soldier on Z, he can then W directly on top of you, or rather neck close to you, which means you then are either taking equal trades by standing still or standing in a close area around that, or you're not taking damage. And the advantage of Electrocute compared to Hail of Blades in that situation is you can take like 3 steps before you then go for the trade back damage against that. You can like step away in a very strong angle and...
But you can do that with Hail of Blades too. Why do you feel like you can't do that with Hail of Blades? You have 3 seconds between your autos. Like you can auto and proc it, walk away, and then you still get the 2 extra autos.
3 seconds. Well, then that could work.
Yeah, it's 3 seconds between autos to keep it up.
Between autos, so you have that's kind of problematic. If you have to order every once in, let's say, have to order, then to wait some seconds to step away, then you lose out on the bonus attack speed that Hail of Blades offers.
No, you have 3 seconds. That's so long. 3 seconds is such a long time.
Exactly. If you wait 1 second before attacking another time, you take
no. It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds between every auto attack to keep it up.
Exactly. So imagine you step away a long distance to create distance between you and the ZW. Then it takes you a lot of time to step away, like one second, for example. You still have your Hail of Blades auto attacks ready, but then the question remains to me: what is your Hail of Blades worth it then? Because then you are not...
Because then you get another 2 auto attacks.
You think that after you step away, you then get a lot of auto attacks in. So after you create a distance to Zed's shadow and won't take return damage, then you turn onto Zed and take the Hail of Blades trade. That's what you're... Is that what you're...
Yeah, I mean, you still have Q, right?
I don't think that you will be able to. Then Zed is most likely going to be able to disengage then.
Well, then he would also disengage Electrocute.
The thing about Electrocute is that you have the auto attack, and then already you need to only Q auto attack in order. With Hail of Blades, you need to do...
No, okay, so with Hail of Blades, you do that, and then you can get 2 autos in the time it would take you to get 1. Absolutely, I would die on that hill, yes.
I don't think so, but we have to test it.
Absolutely, that's true.
Now let me say it. Let me test it really quick. Hail of Blades.
It's at least very, very comparable. Like there might be a slight difference in time. I mean, I would even go a step further. I would go a step further and say that you're more mobile with Hail Blades because you're stopping for like half the time between auto attacks. So your auto, you're stuck in place, right?
Yes.
But with Hail Blades, you basically can auto and instantly move.
Okay, then let me test it for a moment, because I generally say I've experimented with, like, say, let's say where I played for 2 years.
It might even be faster than Electrocute. Like 1 auto, 2 might even be faster with Hail Blades.
So let me see for a moment.
Hail Blades gives 110% attack speed, so your attacks are more than twice as fast. Yeah, so it's actually faster to auto twice with Hail Blades than once Electrocute. So you auto, step away, Q, auto. In actually less time, so it's even faster than Electrocute and does more damage.
Let's say.
And then you can do it again in 8
right.
seconds.
It could definitely be right. Since what you said about that.
Right, I don't want to like
attack speed
keep
bonus is true.
pile driving on you or whatever, but like even after that, your range is so much higher with hail blades too. Like electrocute.
Your range.
Yeah, electrocute. You can't WQ auto. There's no way. They're gonna whack out.
Exactly, but you.
But hail blades, you definitely can WQ auto, and it's a free trade. It's literally free damage.
The problem
They
is
can't
you
trade
have
back
to
from that
range for it. With Electrocute, you can step back after the first trade, Q, and take an auto attack while queuing.
No, we're talking max range. Okay, max range. Your WQ, or not max, but like, you know, soldier goes on top of them. You auto once with electrocute and they can walk out, so you don't proc it. Like basic poke WQ auto. But with electrocute or with hail blades, you can get 2 auto attacks in at almost max range, and they're not going to be able to trade back with you. Like,
so I'm just looking in the problem for me about this range argument is you are super close range with your W attack range. Your basic attack range is extremely close with your W.
Right.
You're like in Cassiopeia E range. Or
I'm not saying W auto Q. I'm saying just WQ.
WQ, yeah, okay. Well, WQ you also have to step into attack range, no?
What do you mean? Like, yeah, your
WQ,
max soldier auto range, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, max soldier auto range.
So you're doing that with electrocute too, right?
Yeah, but you're taking only one auto attack. You're not like hitting multiple times.
Okay, I think you may be misunderstanding. So let's say you're doing a comet trade, okay? So you're just WQ auto, right? Like that's the comet trade. Like you're just poking.
With comet, you don't even need to auto attack off.
Okay, dude. Okay, like, I was just trying to make an example. So you're just poking. It's a basic poke combo. WQ auto. All right. We're on the same page about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with electrocute, you get nothing more. So nothing happens, right?
Yes.
With hail blades, in the time that it would take you to do WQ auto with electrocute, you get WQ auto in less time actually, and then you can back up. So that's effective free damage basically.
But you can't, like, you have to queue in the progress of staying around to hit the auto attacks. Like you're not queuing in order to get backwards. What I think you don't understand about my
you're not getting what I'm saying. Okay, or I don't know if you're being like intentionally disingenuous or like.
No, I'm not. Definitely not.
Okay, so you need, like, this is the combo WQ auto. Like you're doing that. That's what's happening here. Yes. I'm saying with hail blades you get an extra auto in less time.
Wait,
and it would take you to get 1 auto.
On your stream right now, because then turn it into your stream again.
No, I'm not showing it now.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let me imagine. You want to do WQ auto.
Yeah, so you're just max range poking.
Okay.
And with hail blades, in the time that it would take you to do that combo with electrocute and get nothing else, you get an extra auto attack. I'm sure we can agree it's just a free extra auto.
Okay, yeah, it's fact, true.
Okay, so that's literally just like, that's proving that with a max range trade, you're getting just more effective damage. Absolutely. So it basically raises your effective range. So the thing about you saying taking better trades, like you can literally take unlosable trades with hail.
On max range with Q auto attack, yes, but not when you're in a situation where you have to disengage the trade. Like there's matchups where you can't take those trades so simply because getting traded back very strongly. That's the matchups I mentioned, like Zed, Cassiopeia, and what did I say last?
I don't agree that a Zed can trade with that full range Azir. If you're doing that combo,
if he has W up, you're definitely shorter range than him.
I disagree. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the wiki. I guess.
You gotta look at ZW range and ZQ range.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
As you, oh wait, I turned out my set for a moment. Now I'm back. Just check out.
Okay, so. Show the attack range. Tether radius 6.
Target range 500 as a rise.
Yeah, that's like the circle, isn't it? Not like the bonus.
No, I think it is the bonus, or I think target range is where you can control the soldier, and or like where the soldier is in attacking range from a champ. Like it's not out of range, so it won't attack. And then tether radius should be where the soldier can hit around itself. Well, that doesn't really make sense, does it? The tether range.
No, the attack range. Attack 0 is 525 range.
With his soldiers.
No, without.
Without, yeah, I meant with his soldiers. He can place a soldier and then has to stay in a certain radius of the soldier.
Wait, are you saying he gets 1,000 then?
Definitely not. Like that's why I said it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I'm not. It shows it.
Radius. Could they explain what the fuck effect radius?
I don't. Tether radius 6. Soldier command range. Okay, I think it's 660.
660. Where is it? Well, I've looked up Zed. Target range is the W.
650.
That's basically exactly the same as Azir W.
Yeah, but Azir W also it doesn't have to be right on top of him. Like the soldier can be closer to you, and then you have it has an extra 500 range to auto attack from, or whatever that.
Extra 500. Let me just
whatever the radius is. You know what I mean? The numbers are confusing, but you know what I'm talking
exactly.
about.
They're extremely confusing because I can see it in the.
I'm saying like so you have 660 to the soldier, and then the soldier also has its attack range in front of it.
Exactly, and I think that attack range is like approximately a fourth or a fifth of what you have on Azir as attack range. Or
so basically what I'm saying here is, so the basic tether radius, so you already have 10 more range than Zed, and then the soldiers is, let's just say it's the radius that Zed's E would be at, so you're completely out of range.
Not completely. That's exactly the point. You're like, look up Zed W, his 650 range, and then from the W on, he can cast everything else.
Right, but if he's just hitting you with a fucking shitty random Q, like 1 Q, I don't think that's at all comparable to
the E range.
Hellblade's Q and 2 autos.
Exactly the same. WE should be pretty exactly the same range as Azir W auto attack.
Yeah, but not WQ auto attack. Like
WQ auto attack. Well, in order to auto attack, you have to be in the range to auto attack. Yeah. So you have
I don't know
to
how to explain this to you. What I'm saying is, let me read this. Let me try to.
Yes.
ZQ damage level 1. Your Q 70 damage level 1. So your autos do like 50 damage each. Oh, that's 100. So 170 damage versus 80 damage. You're literally doubling his trade.
Well, if Zed takes free or takes the Hail of Blades auto attack rotation for, that's why Zeds don't trade at level 1. But the question is,
we're not talking level 1. We're talking the WQ, like you were saying. I don't.
I was
I really don't think you're arguing that Zed's range is the same as Azir with W up. I can't believe that you're arguing that.
I'm arguing that Zed's W trades are longer range than Azir's W or Q.
Are
not
you
saying that they're the same
is this
range.
a prank or what's going on?
You can literally check it in game. You can cover like basically the entire distance from 1/3 to the center of the mid lane with WQ, and with Azir WQ you can cover like half the distance.
Okay, so he's WQing and then he has to wait 20 seconds to do it again. Okay.
Exactly, yes.
And he's just hitting you with an 80 damage Q. He's using that 20-second cooldown just to hit you with
certainly at level
1 Q, and giving up all lane pressure because now he has to back off in case he gets ganked.
That's why Zed is weak against Azir. But what I'm getting at is that Azir WQ auto attack range is higher than most champions, or Zed's
right.
Which is how true for a fact.
Oh, I'm talking about if you were to take a real trade, like your WQing is like the only trade he could possibly do back is WQ with one Q. I doubt he could even get his E, but if he does, that's still less than 2 autos with Hailblades and a.
I think if you
and much longer cooldown.
If you check it in game, Zed's Q range, basic Q range, not with W, should be approximately the same as your WQ auto attack range. It's 900 range. Your Q has how much?
Okay, so he's trading 80 again. He's trading 80 damage versus 170.
No, he would then be able to hit 2 trades already, 2 Qs, since his basic Q range is higher than your Q range, and his W shadow Q positions it further forward. So he could theoretically hit 2 Qs while you hit.
No, that's not true at all. No,
do you look at the numbers? 900 range from Z basic Q.
Okay. I don't even like. Are you joking right now? Like, I don't know how to explain this any more clearly. Like, you said you have 2 million mastery on Azir, and you think that Zed's Q is longer range than your WQ auto.
Yes, you can see it in the numbers if you look it up. It's black and white.
You know, April Fool's was a week ago, right? Are you trolling me right now? Zed's Q range is not higher than Azir's max poke. Like,
look up the numbers. Look up the numbers, like for a fact. You can look it up black to white. Why do you think that you have to argue on my behalf, like me being a joke, being ignorant or something like that? You can look up the numbers. You know that Azir's Q range is the highest range spell that Azir has, yes? And you know that if you Q on max range into a champion, you are not able to auto attack unless you step forward. Do you disagree on that, or am I still joking?
I disagree. I don't think you're taking into account the soldier's attack radius.
Well, okay, take into account the soldier's attack radius. Okay, fine, do that. The Q of Azir's, the range of Azir's Q is probably larger than you are able to physically or to basic attack with. Is that true?
Maybe. I don't know the exact numbers. I feel like usually I can Q max an auto unless I'm like queuing over a wall or something. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's usually how it feels.
You should definitely check that out if you can queue on max and still put in another order without stepping forward for it. Try it out, and then you can talk about if I'm joking or not. But if you look at the numbers, your Q is the spell of Azir that has the highest range, for a fact, and it is getting outranged by 160 by ZQ.
What are we even talking about? Why are we talking about this?
Well,
wait. This is actually such a pivot. I totally didn't even realize. Like, you still win that trade with Hailblades.
Okay.
if he cues you.
Let's put aside that you just called me out for trolling you or being ignorant or something like that. And
I mean, I still think you're
put
wrong.
aside that
right?
you were wrong about the numbers. Put
Okay,
that aside.
I don't think I'm wrong. I'm checking it right now, so we'll figure it out.
Would be really helpful. Because it is rather comical that you were calling me out for like trying to troll you or something like that, while kind of laughing about me currently for the last like 10 minutes or so, while not being able to look at the numbers properly, and then changing the topic quickly because at some point you kind of felt
I'm not changing the topic.
You were.
We can stay on this, sure. Yeah, so you can Q max range and then auto attack. I just tried it.
Okay, then you have a Q with 740 range and then have an auto attack radius.
So I'm gonna screenshot this for you real quick. And
okay. Yep.
I'll put it up on stream here. Okay, you can look at stream.
Okay, I'll look at the stream.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the range at which you can auto attack with Azir. This is max Q and then auto.
And then let me go and look for the Zed real quick.
You're gonna tell me a Zed can Q this range? Even by I know for a fact that Zed cannot do this.
Q this range?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it stops like right here.
Right there. From the
dummy to Azir, yeah.
From the dummy, okay. Then let's see. I'll take exactly the same position as you.
Q has 740 range, the soldier has 370 range, so max range is 1100. ZQ is 900. They have a pretty sizable...
It's 1100?
That's what I'm reading from chat right now. Soldier range 740. Wait, what is this math, Andy?
That would be interesting. Soldier range 740.
This is what my chat is telling me.
Okay, then let's see if this chat is correcting me or is putting me down correctly there.
I mean, even from this, I'm sure you can eyeball it and see. Like, you're an experienced player. I'm pretty sure you can feel that this Zed cannot Q this range.
So where did you put the dummy? Let me see. Check it. Well, it's rather detail oriented and okay, I see your minions. Wait, there. Okay.
Oh, you want me to pull it back up? Here.
Yeah, it's fine. I remember. So it should be around here, yeah. So where can I reach it? Okay, so approximately this range should fit. Let me screenshot real quick. So
I can link you this.
I'll have to put it on Discord because I'm not streaming, yeah?
Yeah, I can link you that. Sure, yeah, you can put it.
Oh my god, we're so engaged. It's insane. Wait, where's the screenshot?
I put it in our DMs.
Pictures. Well, fuck me. I don't find the screenshot.
And what I was saying before is okay. Yeah, go ahead.
It seems like it is just slightly shorter range. That's true. Like it is. I'm standing on that brown area, and the dummy is like exactly where you put it, and my Q reaches from that brown area.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's the indicator of ZQ is perfectly above the point. You're standing slightly behind the brown area. So okay, Azir Q auto take outranges Z basic Q. You're right about that.
Okay. And I think I think a competent Azir. Okay, and I don't want to be disingenuous about this, right? So if you're gonna get 2 auto attacks, you have to be a little closer than this, obviously.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure if you Q auto or Q auto and then that throws a Q back, you have enough time for an extra auto with Hail Blades. I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you sidestep after your first auto, you'll dodge a ZQ in return.
Most likely, yes. But that's why I thought you were like you were going to lose out to some degree on the DPS with Hail of Blades.
In what way do you lose out on DPS with Hail Blades? I thought we agreed that Hail Blades always was more damage or DPS.
Yeah, I thought you were kind of forced to sidestep one of the Qs, and during the sidestep, your Zed is already able to walk back and not be able to take or you're not gonna be able to take the last hit from Hail of Blades against Zed if he steps back during your own sidestep. Like he's gonna take the W forward, EQ, and the moment he does it, he already steps back to not take any further trade. And that's why I thought that you were not going to be able to follow up with the last.
I think. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we might agree on this, but in this situation, if you see him Q, you're gonna sidestep, obviously. But if you see him throw out the W, I would immediately E on top of him, because you know he's going for a full combo, and you know he's already pressed the buttons. You know, like all Zed mains, it's like WQE, WEQ, like right away.
To be honest, that I would do that too if I knew that there's not gonna be, or if I am certain that there's not gonna be a jungler nearby.
Right. Otherwise, yeah, of course.
And troublesome could be as well that if he W's forward and he sees you E, he just swaps to his W and runs away the other way.
I'm pretty sure you'll collide with him before he can swap to his W. It's a pretty
Nah, never. ZW is instant swap. It's basically like Kassadin R.
No, it's not. The travel time to throw it out, it's pretty sizable.
The travel time, okay.
So as soon as you see him throw the W out, I would immediately on top of him. No travel time with ZW. Yes, there's.
Then you have to do a gameplay. I'm pretty certain that it's not possible to immediately collide with him. The W speed travel of Zed is insanely fast. Level up W. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can dash and he can dodge your dash, because of the fact that once you're somewhat between him and his W, he can already W on top of it. He doesn't have to W on top of it during the. He can W halfway forward or so.
Does anyone know the missile speed of Azir's E?
Oh, guys, we're so into the numbers here. Holy shit.
Yeah, please. Someone link me the missile speed of Lifting Sands. Second W is instant blink. We're talking about the first part, throwing the W out. Because you can't immediately swap. It's not as fast as it used to be. They nerfed it in like season 4.
So I can basically swap half a second after I put it out.
Right, yeah, I'm saying as soon as you see it, you can E on top of him.
Well, I don't think you're gonna be able to, like, I would say I'm not able to, and I think you're not able to either, to react to it so quickly that you're gonna be able to hit him before he swaps.
Okay, but
if he chooses to swap.
Maybe. I think you probably could, but yeah, like you said, I don't think he would even swap. I think he would just be comboing. And then you E, you get the shield, and then he's gonna have to fight you and your soldiers then.
The thing is, if
with no cooldowns,
he pulls his W forward, and if I was playing Zed against you, and I see you E into me when I'm trying to trade you with a W, I'm pretty sure I would be able to dodge it with W reswap.
Okay, but you still get the shield regardless.
True, you get the shield, but then it's like kind of weird. You swap places with the Zed, and like it seems rather awkward for you to be with your soldier and the enemy Zed to your minion wave between you and your turret. It's kind of in the matchup somewhat weird.
I think you just win that trade though, no? Do you not feel that way? If Zed has no cooldowns, you don't think you the auto attack trade? Especially
imagine
if
you both
W's away
imagine
from
you
you.
both have no imagine you have both no auto attacks. You used your one soldier to trade and dashed forward, then you have one soldier left.
Right.
And that has a Q cooldown on level 2 for about like he has it up like every 9 seconds or so.
It's something like that, like 9, 11.
6 seconds level 1 actually.
Oh, is it 6? Or 6?
It's pretty insane. And if you swap and you're between him and his turret, and he is between you have one soldier, and his Q is up in 6 seconds, and his basic attacks deal way more damage than yours. I don't really think that this is gonna work.
I don't know if that's true. You're autoing him with 2 soldiers.
Yeah, true. With 2 soldiers, you're always going to win. Even with 1 soldier, you deal slightly more damage than Zed with basic attacks.
Wait, but you just said he's dealing more damage with autos.
I said Zed deals more damage with basic attacks than you do with basic attacks.
You're not basic attacking. You're hitting him with soldiers.
If you have 1 soldier left and you place it, then you can hit him for 2 times with the soldier, and then you have to kite around in order to stay.
I think I just move into both of them, so he has to sit in both. No?
You mean that you're staying in the
so in my eyes you have two options here. You can walk away because he's used his dash. You're probably not slowed by now. You can just walk out. Yes. He'll walk out and whatever.
Exactly. I think that would be the correct play for either side.
Or you throw down W. If you think you can fight him, you throw down W and you just stand in the middle of both your soldiers, and you're gonna out trade the shit out of him, of course.
Okay. The problem for me though is that you're playing against a champion that is generally weaker than you in the first 5 to 6 levels, and after level 6 has some all-in potential if you misplay or misposition. And you need to like chunk him to a certain degree so that he's unable to be full HP, or like if he's full HP at level 6 and you're full HP at level 6, you're probably going to be in a very
we definitely weren't talking about levels. We were talking about
what you need to get done pre-level 6 is really important. You need to establish a certain lead or dominance or HP lead or anything serious, and win the trade, win every trade like extremely dominantly. And I don't think that you're gonna be able to do it so simply if you take.
I get you're bringing it back toward the original topic, I think, which is I don't really think it's necessary to take these trades after level 6. I think you have your get out of jail free card in alt versus his alt, and yes, you probably have already created a sizable lead pre-6, or at least some kind of lane dominance, and then you basically just win the farm war. Like he can't do anything against you after 6, generally speaking, if you're playing it correctly.
And that's where I'm wondering if my general position is just because of the fact that I have a different playstyle than you, not rather because of, let's say, numbers or efficiency, but rather just because of our playstyles. Because I think if you hit level 6 in the Azir versus Zed matchup, you can still and should still punish him similarly to how you played the lane earlier. And I think Kale of Blades is slightly less effective than Electrocute in that regard.
I don't think it's necessary, but again, I still don't think if you're taking these like all out post 6 trades, there's no way Electrocute is better. It's just like I feel like we've been talking for like an hour and a half, and you still have not given a reason why Electrocute would ever be more damage in these. But you're saying alt versus alt, like this is post 6, or you're saying just like post 6 trades, which would be the same as pre 6.
Yeah, I'm saying that with Hail of Blades, you're in a position where actually you need to auto attack rather often.
I thought we already got past the fact that you don't have to.
Well, then I literally feel like Electrocute is the better version then, because if you're not gonna auto attack like 1 or 2 more times, often,
you are, but it's gonna be twice as fast as an auto with Electrocute.
And Electrocute deals like,
I feel like Electrocute might be actually like it might take like twice as long to proc a full Electrocute than a full Hail of Blades. Or like I don't know the exact numbers, obviously.
No, not
like,
really.
but like it would take it's so much slower to get Electrocute.
You need 2 auto takes for Electrocute, and 2 auto takes means that you have like 1.6 seconds. Yeah, 1.6 seconds to proc Electrocute fully.
I don't care about the like 1.6 like
yeah,
round. It's
1.6
fine.
seconds exactly because of the 0.8 attack speed at level 2.
I don't. Whatever.
And then Hail of Blades, you would like need 3 auto attacks to proc it fully, or rather 4 auto attacks to proc it fully. 3 auto attacks to make it similar, better thing than Electrocute.
Yeah, higher damage with 3 autos, and those 3 autos, what they'll come out like 1.5 times faster than the 2 autos from Hail Blades.
I'm pretty certain that you have higher damage at level.
You cut out. You cut out. Can you say that again?
I think at some levels your auto attack damage improvement is not as large as the improvement on Electrocute. Entirely wrong. Let me see real quick.
What are you saying? You're saying
your W auto attack scale, your basic attack damage on W scales with your level, and I think on your level 3 or so, the improvement in terms of damage to level 1 is rather weak in terms of in comparison to Electrocute's damage improvement. What I'm saying is,
I had the math in the guide. That
did you? Oh, then I didn't watch it. I will do that.
So Electrocute full damage. This is level 1 with Adorns and adaptive AP shard. 1 adaptive AP shard, obviously. Electrocute does 261, and Hailblade says 299. That's
yeah.
What,
that's
auto level 1 versus auto Electrocute.
How is it at level 4?
I mean, it would just scale in Hailblade's favor, no?
I don't think, because I think Hail of Blades benefits from the bonus auto attack, but your level 1 auto attack on W is like 70 damage or 80 damage, and it increases by about 10 or 12.
I have to stop. I have to stop you. I'm so sorry, dude. So yeah, okay. You agree that level 1? You agree that level 1 it does more?
Yeah, 3 auto attacks level 1 deal more than Electrocute.
Okay, and it would only go exponentially in Hailblade's favor from there on. So you're saying at level 4, so you haven't recalled, it's level 4. So yes. All that's happened is you've gotten more damage on your W with levels. So all that's happened is you're getting more damage per auto attack. So that last extra auto they're getting is scaling harder and harder in Hailblade's favor.
Yeah, but not in comparison to Electrocute's level scaling. Electrocute's level scaling, you can compare that to Ignite's level scaling. You get like bonus 20 damage per level or bonus 30 damage per level on Electrocute. It deals like 100 or like 200 damage in the late game. And
so like, whether you're right or not, we'll say about it being more. You're saying that time where you like level 1 or whenever it would outscale like level 4 to level 7 or something, whenever you recall first, you're saying that portion of the game, you're basing your entire game off of that when you take Electrocute.
Let's say the first 15 minutes or so I will base on that. Yeah,
I disagree that Electrocute does more damage for 15 minutes. I wholeheartedly disagree. I mean, we can pull up the math. I'm sure something.
I say I base the 50 minutes of that because I think that you establish a stronger lead on Electrocute than on Hail of Blades.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but you have not proven that at all.
Well, that's the point. I didn't really make a guide. I only put up some YouTube videos. I only have a lot of experience on Azir. That's basically my whole argument.
Like right now, you can prove it to me. You haven't given a single reason why Electrocute does more damage. Hail Blades. Except for the level scaling.
Then let me look up the. Okay, except for the level scaling,
which I don't actually think is true, that it outscales.
Well, okay. let me say it like this, because I think we have like talked about like for 2 hours now.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It's 2.5 hours since we started talking about approximately 2 hours since we Domination Tree. Let me say this. I agree, Electrocute deals less damage than Hail of Blades in the time span of like level 8, level 9 to where like once you have some items, and in the first level 2, level 1 probably deals more damage too. There's that portion of the laning phase in which I think Electrocute deals more damage. In the considered trade with 3 auto attacks on Hail of Blades and 2 auto attacks on Electrocute. I think at that level 2, level 3 to level 6 or 7 or so, probably Electrocute deals slightly more damage. But what I've found out in my gameplays or in the games I played, how it felt for me, I've always been taking less damage in return, taking Electrocute than Hail of Blades. I don't know if it is me being poor on Hail of Blades. It may be. I've played Hail of Blades for about 3 to 4 months in a row back in season 9 ending. But right now, I feel like on Hail of Blades, I take more return damage. It might be bad luck on my side, being not good enough. I've found good success on, or let's say really, really good success on Electrocute. Like the most dominant games I had in my life were probably on Electrocute against Fizz.
Okay, this is all anecdotal. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care.
That's the point. What I say is I can totally understand if you did with me on that.
Yeah, I will not, I'm not saying you have to take Hellblades or anything. Like, if you're comfortable with Electrocute, by all means take it 100%. You do you, man. But I'm just saying, like, for the average player who is learning Azir, I think Hellblades, if they learn how to use Hellblades, will just be better than learning how to use Electrocute.
If they learn how to use Hail of Blades, I think Electrocute rather full of in comparison to Hail of Blades, because Hail of Blades attack speed can make you be unable to attack move or that. I
thought we already debunked that. I don't know.
For the average Azir player, yes, I would definitely say Hail of Blades is full of than Electrocute. But for good Azir players, probably you're right. Hail of Blades is more useful than Electrocute. Not for me, but for most of the good players, probably Hail of Blades is the better version.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's leave it like that. Keep climbing.
Sure, we can move on. Your
Twitch chat surely will want to see some more gameplay. So...
It's cool. Fuck them. I don't care what they want.
Okay. Let me see some comments real quick.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Generally not. What I want to say as a last conclusion kind of thing. Okay, I think we kind of found out about each other, that, or about me personally, that I was not trying to attack you on a personal level, that I was on Wrath of Ages discussion. Okay, I was not trying to attack you on a personal level. I think you understand it now.
Yeah, it just seemed like you saw all the positive comments, and it seemed like you felt like I don't know. I don't want to say like envious, but you just didn't like that I was getting positive feedback on it. I don't think it exactly fits what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I want to know, do you still feel that way? That's
I think you did a lot of backpedaling from then, but I also think you were pretty like misinformed on how I am currently and how I play currently. I think you might have a different opinion if you watched me today versus like, I don't know, whenever I streamed last and I had like barely played. And
so about I will actually inform myself about you and look your gameplay, watch what you're doing mechanically as well as decision making wise and item wise and stuff like that. I will reconsider my opinion. If I still have the feeling about that you're playing against somewhat poor players or weak players who are not really playing correctly, and you maybe even making mistakes, then I will message you privately, but not say it out loud anymore again.
Sure, that's fine. I mean, if you really feel this way, I don't mind that you make those posts. It's just like, I just wanted you to come on and talk about it and defend it if you actually felt that way. Like I didn't want it just to be like you're just gonna fire shots from the shadows kind of thing. So I appreciate you coming on and talking about it.
That's why I said that's why I backpedaled. Let's say I didn't want to slander you just for the fact of me being kind of jealous or something like that, and that's why I wanted to know if you're still feeling like that, because it's true. I'm really truly not in any way was jealous or
Okay, yeah.
was how would you say it, like not giving you that gratitude from your viewers. That is definitely certain. Oh my god, there's so many comments there about skins.
Well, I don't. Yeah, that's my chat. Fuck them. They talk about skins every stream. I can't stand it. But yeah, I don't hold any bad blood. It's like I just wanted to chat about it. I'm not mad about it or anything. I just wanted to have a discussion. I mean, it's good content, so you know.
It is. And what I want to tell you, it's really I was really happy that you were so calm and collected when you answered to my comment there. That was actually where I knew I was gonna have a good talk, and that's why I decided to join you in that talk, because
yeah,
I knew it would have stayed on an objective and a productive level, and rather than being like, and it was then clear to me that you were aware that this could be interpreted as a personal attack, but you were not really personally offended. You were just annoyed by this, and that was when I really know, okay, I have to join that and clarify and get back on a lot of things that I've said that are not correct. So thanks for having me, I guess.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Going on that interview comment earlier.
Well, yeah. Well, we can talk whenever. I mean, yeah, I have no problem with like discussing these things in off time too. Like we can theory craft and stuff.
Holy fucking cow! 2.5 hours, 2 hours 40 on.
It was a good one.
It was a hard one and a good one. By the way, I'll look at your stream further and just as I said, I will keep watching and try to, let's say, clarify my opinion about your Azir, and once I kind of see what your Azir is really about right now, then I will definitely yeah, let's say redirect my opinion either to the good side or stay on what I'm just
stay on the dark side.
Stay on the dark side of power or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
The dark side of SKT Azir players regarding that skin.
Sickening, man. Sickening. Absolutely sickening skin.
Actually, about that skin, one last comment. I really enjoyed the skin because it feels like the mechanics or the animations are rather smooth, or it felt like that for me. I actually played it only because of mechanics. Looking wise,
yeah, go ahead.
Looking wise, I prefer the Gravelord Azir.
What the fuck, dude? Wait, I can't respect any of your opinions anymore. This is unreal. Gravelord really is your favorite skin? There's no way, dude. You're trolling me.
It's insanely dramatic, and it fits really well the ascent from the grave like topic of Azir.
You don't feel like the soldiers are kind of like
the soldiers really look awkward.
They feel weak, right? Like, do they not feel weak? Yeah, I like the tower. Yeah,
the tower is insane. It feels like we're back to rings like that. And
I think the skin's okay. I just think like the soldiers, like I feel like they're so they just look so weak.
Yeah, they're kind of skinny, aren't they?
Well, they are skeletons, I guess, but like even their spear attacks, like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it would hurt that much. Like I could probably take a couple sand soldiers, no problem.
Sand soldiers, okay. I actually think that the skin is like fitting for kind of the dramatic part of its lore, ascending from the grave and
yeah, it's cool. I'll give it that concept is cool. I just don't think the execution is
the kind of a rise thing. If you imagine him summoning the dead, that's also rather interesting.
Yeah, it definitely fits. Yeah, I just wish it was a little better. But you don't like Warring Kingdoms, really?
I think Warring Kingdoms is a very fitting skin and is probably what in terms of looks really nice, but it's not my flavor. I like the more dramatic part of the death and
yeah, I got
destruction that happened. And Warring Kingdoms is kind of like the look skins being so, yeah, Eagle, we are all cool, we are all happy. And
What the fuck?
this part of Azir.
What, you don't think being edgy would like be better for that?
Well, no, I don't think so.
All right, dude, get the fuck out of here. We're done.
Yeah, I'll get the fuck out
We're
of
done,
here.
dude.
Have a great day.
All right, yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I wish you best of luck and best of fun with your viewership. Have a great day,
too.
guys.
Peace out, man.
Arise.
Okay. Well, that was fun. We're in queue now. Sucks. That was quality. I'm glad you came on. And we got the skin discussion out of the way for you guys too. Oh, and then an instant Q pop. Feels good, man. Combat versus area and Lethal Tempo versus Conqueror. We already threw that out right at the start because we agree that no one gives a fuck about those runes. Shit.